my very first PS4 series gameplay. My name, of course, is Tubby Emu, and welcome to the PS4. Welcome to MLB 14, the show. Now, if you remember Boof Chubby, we got like 3 episodes deep in the show, and then some other game came out, and I started playing it more often, and I kind of killed off the MLB. But don't worry, I bought a PS4 for this series in NBA, so you're going to get it regardless if it gets, let's make it get views, guys. That'd be awesome. So, I want to go over this, and we're going to talk about what we're doing, who we are, and what our mission is here in MLB The Show. Now, I went with, you're seeing it. I was like, let's make somebody a little crazy. I want to see, before he became a disc jockey, a radio jockey, a world-famous radio host, what would Howard Stern have been like in the MLB? Now, for those of you guys who don't know, I grew up playing softball and baseball. Yeah, I'm really fat now, but back in the day, I was really fat back then, but I pitched in baseball and fast-pitch softball. Went to national tournaments for fast-pitch softball, pitched a quad header back-to-back, about threw out my arm, saved a game with a catch and a throw to first in the 6th inning, or 7th inning of a softball game to get us to the 4th game in a row. And we lost because the other team realized I and my first and third baseman were too fat to field the bunt. So the team that I was striking out constantly in South Dakota started bunting the ball from innings 3 till 7. Honest to God, because we couldn't field the fatties. So I thought, let's get a guy that can field some balls, but can also hit some balls, shag some balls, play with some balls. I don't know. Hey, wherever Howard Stern is going in the bedroom, that's not my deal. My deal is to go out here and give us the best-looking Howard Stern play possible. Now, the good news is we've already recorded a bunch, so I've already got episodes 1 through 10 done, and we're going back through now and doing the commentary, but you guys can see I got to put a little meat on his bones. We're going to go buff, though. We're not going to go too big. And I like the way Howard Stern turned out this year. Now, on PS4, I have to say, I always buy the MLB games every year. And I hate to say it, but I kind of like the MLB 2K better because I was always better at it, because I sucked at the show Tommy, but now that I've gotten better at it, the show just leaps and bounds above. And the PS4 version, I had tweeted about this, asking people, it better be worth it, because it was the only game I was going to buy with my PS4 to start with. And this game, if you guys are a fan of baseball, on the PS4, looks absolutely fantastic. It blew my socks off, because if you play on the PS3, it looks pretty good. But my problem is when you play on the PS3, I often play on 3 monitors, or 1 monitor and 2 for my computer. And when you sit up that close, you see like little on the side, you see it's a little pixelated on the jerseys and stuff. On the PS4, I can sit right up against the monitor, and the graphics are absolutely superb. The PS4 leaps and bounds so much better than the PS3. Obviously, it's a next-gen system, but it really does stand out. And if you can look at Howard Stern, just look at him. Just look at it. Just look at it. A little bit of Ed Bassmaster here. Now, I don't know really what I had the inspiration for him. I know somebody is probably going to say, Tubby, that's not what Howard Stern looks like. This is what Howard Stern would look like if Howard Stern played baseball when he was 18 years old, or however old he is. I don't know. I made the crazy mistake, and I didn't know this. If you guys create a Road to the Show person, and we're going to use a little bit of tickets in Road to the Show, I'm not going to lie about it, but one of the things that you want to pay attention to is that when you do those 3 showcase games, if you choose to go back to college, don't make the mistake I did with my other dude, and we're going to be debuting another guy, a third baseman. And that third baseman is, we'll wait to tell you who that is, but I really like him. He's one of my favorite TV dudes, and that series is going to be coming up shortly, and we kind of went a different route with him, but I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. And like I said, Howard Stern, I played first baseman a lot. I grew up pitching on Mondays and Wednesdays for fast-pitch softball, Tuesdays, and half of Thursday for baseball, because they had a rule where you couldn't pitch more than, I think it was 10 innings. So I would pitch like 6 on Tuesday and then 3 on Thursday, and then I would hand the ball over. Base softball, I pitched all the goddamn time, because that's all I ever. I couldn't actually play on half the teams I wanted to, because the rule in our league was every team needed a pitcher. So when I was really young, I was on a team with pretty much the dynasty of town, their dynasty family, and I caught And when the teams hated him so much, they were like, this isn't fair. Put in some other pitcher. This isn't fair. Max is too good. Put in somebody else. My fat ass would come out, and I still remember to this day, we were playing in a small town outside of our own because we had a league, within, 5 miles, 6 miles, a town would come over where there's 2 teams over there. And one of the teams called us a bunch of farm boys, and they got pissed at Max for pitching too good because I caught for him. And I'll be honest, I was the only one I was kind of scared to catch for. He was a fast son of a gun. And I always use those knee savers. Knee savers are the number one priority for a catcher, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why when I picked the secondary position as a catcher, I put on those knee pads. But funny story, and I'm going to tell you, this is true. The coach comes out about the 3rd or 4th inning, and he's pissed. He's going after the umpire. They're like, this isn't fair. Our kid can't even hit. He's pissed. Max's dad gets up. Gary is like, you know what? Fuck it, Eric. Get in there. And I go and shut shit down. Just as good, and the coach was even more pissed. That's what happens. And we won the championship that year, and that was the last year they allowed me to be on their team because they made the ruling that every team needed a starting pitcher. And, we never really had any bullpens or anything. It was either you had a pitcher and maybe you had a backup pitcher who pretty much sucked. But I was always on the shitty teams because every team in the draft needed a kid who could pitch, and I was always it. So I threw up my arm really early because I would pitch baseball and softball, and by the time I was 5 years in, I only played baseball for 3 years in the minors and then 1 year in major. I had already thrown my arm out a little bit, not pitching, but like fielding. I couldn't field the ball. I couldn't throw it from like the outfield, and I hated that because coming up in baseball, I was like the outfielder. I was kind of a roamer, and then I eventually started playing catcher, and they didn't have knee savers. And I was like, knee savers, man. And eventually, being a fat kid and being the catcher, I never had to run my bases. I could just get on base, and then they would bring somebody out. Because as catcher, you need time to put on that gear. I need time to put on a gear. I'm fat, dog. That was some of the best times of my life growing up playing baseball. And I want to relate that to you guys. And a little personal, if you guys know, growing up, I was always a Cubs fan. Huge Cubs fan growing up back in the dynasty days. And then Sammy Sosa went and broke my heart and with that damn cork bat. But I was never a Brewers fan. I live in Wisconsin. I never liked the Brewers. I don't know why. I never really liked the Packers either. I've been a Rams fan, a Cubs fan, a Timberwolves fan, and because of the Kevin Garnett days, I love Kevin Garnett and Wally Zerbiak and all those guys. And when it came to baseball, I always just liked the Twins. We win all the time. I was a huge fan of the Metrodome going up, and my college decision was based around, all right, I can get full season tickets to the Metrodome, upper deckers, for $250 for the season. That's what I made my college decision on when I was going to go to school. I was like, I'm going to go to Metropolitan State in Minneapolis just so I can go see the Twins play. And thank God I didn't, because the Twins would go on to suck really bad, and then the Metrodome would go on to close and be demolished this year to make way for the new stadium and the outdoor stadium. I'm just not a big fan of it. It's it's a cool stadium and everything, and I went to a bunch of games when I was with Not His Fan. We went up in like the championship club and everything. But I'm just not a fan of it. Not to mention the Twins just suck now. Without Morneau, we have, Aaron Hicks. I don't even know our starting pitchers. That's how bad we are. It's absolutely crazy. And I want to find a Boof Bonser jersey. Boof Chubby from last year. It was Boof Bonser. I wanted to find some of his merchandise. Matt and I went up to the automobile, not the automobile section. I can't even think of the word right now. The memorabilia section, and asked for a Boof Bonser jersey, and she took my number, and she called me a week later saying, sorry, we don't have any Boof Bonser stuff. But here we go. You guys can see. You got to put on the knee savers. I'm a knee. They're my man. I love knee savers so much. I wouldn't play catcher if I didn't have the knee savers. We got that batting stance. We're going to be going at it. And I went with the pretty common batting stance just because I love the way it looks. And I always had kind of a messed up batting stance because I would never, ever step into it very much. I only ever hit one home run the whole time I played, and I was pretty pissed off about that. I'm not going to lie. I always thought I could do better and put some out of the park. But we're going to go with Albert Pujols. Just start it off. We're going to try to be a big power first baseman. So that's what we're going to kind of start off. I think I may have changed it later on in the season. But Howard Stern, first baseman. We got the 3 showcase matches coming up soon in the next episode, guys. Where do you think we're going to get drafted to? Who do you think I'm going to play for? What team is Howard Stern headed to in the major leagues here? MLB 14, the show on PS4. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button. Comment down below who you think I'm going to play for. We're going to get ready. We're going at it. Howard Stern. Yo, baby, bring it to me. And let's get this going here on PS4. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. Topps Amateur Showcase coming up in the next part. Yeah, baseball. Yeah.